later, please give a very, very warm welcome to Atelier Bow-Wow.
Hi, thank you. Thank you.
What?
Can you tell us about...
the story.
About the structure?
Story. The firstly, why we are in here.
Yes, it could be great if you tell us about your relationship to Cedric and to Lucius, and we all looking here at this homage to the aviary about the genesis of it.
Yeah, so that we were visiting last August, right? And we have a chance to make something for this garden, courtyard. And then, firstly, so we proposed a little bit larger scale project. But, because the Swiss Pavilion wanted to have a kind of event like today, but if it's raining, we have a lot of problems. So we try to make a whole big roof on the courtyard, but it's a little bit very hard to build up. So finally, so we proposed that Ortana on the Swiss Pavilion to observe the courtyard and outside to the street and promenade in front of the Swiss Pavilion. So
Yeah, this is
both.
both. Yeah, this is it. Yes. Actually, first of all, at first we tried to install Sun Palace above existing Swiss Pavilion to mimic the existing pavilion as a temporary structure, and then. But it was huge structure and it cost so much. And then we had to change the scheme. And then secondly, Dominic suggested us to work with aviary, the London Zoo's bird cage, and then to cover this courtyard. And then we changed the reference from Fan Palace to aviary. And then from that point, the tensegrity structure became one of the language of our proposal. And then at first we cover whole this platanus tree by tensegrity structure, but it was extremely huge. So it's also too expensive. And then we reduced the size of the tensegrity on top of the roof to create a kind of exclusive terrace, because the roof is not strong enough. So we limit the number of people who are there until 7. So please don't go
Over 70.
yeah. It's a bit dangerous. We added the 4 columns under the roof, but anyway. So this tensegrity, but I think today I visit here, and then this is quite nice because it looks like we release the birds from the aviary. Now birds is flying around it. So anyway, they like this environment. So I'm very happy, and we will be part of it. And it's also a very good place to observe all the movement of the people in the Giardini. And then you can fish your friends from the balcony. So ask, oh, hey, Kirsten, please come. So it's a kind of fishing platform. So it's also interesting. And then it's also give a kind of a new itinerary to experience Swiss Pavilion, which is related to the idea of promenade taken from Lucius Bruckhaus. So in his book, it's always important to create a kind of new experience by moving your bodies and doing the promenade and encountering these different things and discovering new meanings from every object. And So I think that this platform really represents his concept of promenade. So this is a kind of marriage between Cedric Price's mobile, very free structure for birds and promenade from Lucius Bruckhout.
It would make Cedric very happy because Cedric always told me his real dream was actually that the birds could fly the aviary out of the zoo.
Yes,
So here the birds can fly away. Now one maybe second chapter I wanted to ask you about is that both in Lucius Burckhardt and Cedric Price practice, as we can see in the archive presented here over the next 6 months, both of these practitioners were less about building architecture, but they were actually looking, particularly in the case of Lucius, at sociological research, what's happening between buildings. As he always said, Burckhardt always told me, it's as important what happens between the neighbors in a building than what is the concrete. Now you have a practice to build, but besides that, you also have a very strong other aspect of your work. I always remember when I came the first time to Japan, I discovered your books, where you do in a similar way research of, which goes beyond building. It has nothing to do with building. Can you tell us a little bit about how that part of the practice, which seems to connect a lot to Lucius and Cedric, how that evolves and what you're working on at the moment?
Okay.
I think, for example, like a pet architecture, it's in Tokyo, so we have a lot of small buildings. We call it's not human size, it's more dog size or pet size, so that means pet architecture. And pet means also that it's among the people. The pet always encourage the people to activate some new reaction to the society. So I think that point is pet architecture is very good effect in the society of the human. And I think, for example, this kind of small structure sometimes it makes a little bit interesting. So given the point so between the people and the giardini or place or everywhere. And then it could be also the interesting behavior to give another possibility for the people. For example, we saw in Venice, there are a lot of ortana on the roof. Always, I think Venice has a very strong, some massive volume, but also some people wanted to climb the roof, so that they make us small ortana too. So I think we also bring to some reference on this Swiss pavilion to make some new activities on the roof.
And the very last question from the Fun Palace, from the Crystal Palace to the Fun Palace, as Dorothea showed us, to the Palace of Unbuilt Roads. You developed the model for our project of unrealized project to develop a Palace of Unbuilt Roads. Can you tell us about that yet unrealized project? For the unrealized project.
Yes. 模型の話。Yes. We learning from the Fun Palace. Firstly, so we propose some roof frame structure, and then under the kind of frame, people make a kind of interesting performance for hanging from this frame. So, and then in that case, if we make a very big frame on this courtyard, maybe some activities happen in like a theater stage, and then a lot of, for example, furniture or some interesting elements hanging from the frame, and then to activate the people's some play or performance.
Yeah, it's a superstructure floating above the ground and storing many the models of unbuilt project. And then anytime you want, you bring them down to the ground and create a kind of new exhibition by using different models and materials from archives. And then this was very, it's a kind of brother project of our BMW Guggenheim project, which is a kind of traveling structure, and every instruments are stored in the floating volume, and you can everything suspended from above, and you can change the mode of the use on the ground level by these instruments, and then so.
Wonderful.
So it's a kind of a phenomenon. It's more about it's not architecture as an object. But the architecture as interrelationship between different things and different factors. Yeah.
And that brings us right away back, of course, to Cedric and to
Yes.
Lucius. Momoy and Yoshihara, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.